You don't need to be surfing the net too long before you come across a conspiracy theory link which suggests an alternative view to the mainstream media. These alternative views, on the whole, depict a ruling elite of megalomaniacs belonging to exclusive bloodlines hell-bent on perpetuating the enslavement of the vast majority of the human race. One observation always strikes me when I read such exposes is that if the ruling elite have such control, as the conspiracy theorists insist, why do they allow the information to circulate? A very clear example is WikiLeaks and its egocentric frontman Julian Assange. Through disclosure of previously classified information, the team at WikiLeaks has exposed, amongst others, the horrific violence inflicted by the United States Army on the people of Iraq. Information includes the official violent death toll of 109,032, although the Lancet puts this figure at 601,027. 31% coalition forces, 41% unknown. An opinion research business survey has estimated in excess of 1 million deaths. Whichever figure is correct, the horrendous scale of violence inflicted on the Iraqi people is staggering and surely something the elite would wish to suppress. One thing is for sure, the indiscreet nature of WikiLeaks, the scorns the customary sugar-coating usually applied to the presentation of events for Western public consumption, will be used to justify loss of civil liberties, Patriot Act et al. And the governance of the Internet. So who wins and who loses? If release of the information was an attempt to mobilize people to protest against the carnage, well, that's already been tried and governmentally ignored. And if, as suggested, prime ministers and presidents are selected and not elected through the Bilderberg process, then change of personnel in the executive is a minor inconvenience and the wars continue. Blair, Brown, Cameron, Bush, Obama. If there is a ruling elite allowing this disclosure to happen, then they either wish for public uprising or are making a calculated gamble that imposition of new restrictive laws will not result in full-scale revolution. And then there is the more expansive argument. If the elite are actually encouraging conspiracy theory on the basis that we create our reality, as many of the conspiracy theorists will tell you, then the work is being accomplished by those vehemently opposed to it. By claiming, for example, that we are heading towards economic disaster, does it not become a self-fulfilling prophecy? Put simply, if we think something bad is going to happen, do we not attract such? Energy follows thought is a truism I have heard on a number of occasions. So is the release of information that fuels the conspiratorial agenda a calculated process to incite further belief in the major conspiracy theories? Let's take the police state. The conspiracy theorists tell us that we are heading into a period when draconian measures will be imposed upon citizens by law enforcement officials. The result of this is that some people are preparing themselves for direct action, grouping themselves to combat the impending thuggery of the state. In the UK over the last few years there have been major demonstrations involving serious clashes between the police and citizens, and this now seems commonplace in many European countries. The result has been tighter policing methods and the imposition of more control. But as much as I have read about the global warming scam, reduction of population, banking systemic fraud, etc., I also read about a vibrational or energy change which is responsible for huge shifts in human awareness. Many have heard about 2012 and other cosmic occurrences. Could then these revelations merely be symptoms or manifestations of this greater shift? Will this trump the Illuminati, its charge being greater than the mass of their endeavors and the driving force for awakening a dormant consciousness? Or could it be the union of the conventional and the ultimate? Conventionally, we are all linked into a system which is fundamentally flawed and unfair for the vast majority of the world's population. Ultimately, we are the creators of our destiny, all we see or seem, the projections of a mind which will never die. Somewhere in between we all abide trying to maneuver our way through what seems at times interminable banality. With that in mind, how should you play it? A recurring conspiracy theory is the depopulation of the world's inhabitants. By exposing the elite's agenda, are we facilitating it, making it reality? If it is true we create our reality, could we be subconsciously allowing it or even wanting it to happen? Certainly the history books would read that a few brave souls worked tirelessly to save the planet from overpopulation, pollution and climate change and had to take such a momentous decision and operate in secrecy to ensure the survival of the human race and creation of a brave new world. I'm sure the vast majority of those who survive would go along with it and be happy to roll up their sleeves and get on with rebuilding the world, under supervision of course. If you read a conspiracy theory which helped you understand why the world is such a mess, what would you do? Do you speak out to try and prevent it or remain silent so as not to contribute to the agenda? I don't think there is a definitive answer and each should come to their own conclusion and do what they think is right. Perhaps in all of this that is the greatest challenge. To search and discover your intention, to consider how the world and you meet, and to find your peace.